A dreamer at to spin fire. The NFT analyzer. Diving deep into projects. He's the crypto energizer. From mint coins to tokens. He's got all the intel. Web3 is a dream. Show you where to excel. He's got the insights like a digital magician.
Mega GMs, guys. Welcome to the Swarm Report. Holy cow, happy Friday. What is it, August 20th? Dude, I can't believe it's the end of August already. I think like our next show is September officially. Shit, dude. Whatever. Welcome to the show, guys. Friday show, special show with our boy Cats Fanatic here. Hey, I can't unmute you, but there you go.
GM.
It's good to see you, dude.
Love seeing you.
This is fun, dude. I'm digging the Friday thing. As you guys know, right, we started doing this Friday thing where Friday becomes community show, right? You know, you guys, by the way, you're welcome to come up and chat over on the Spaces side. But now for the past 2 weeks and going forward, we got our boy Cats coming on the show too. And look, getting into the things we all love about virtuals. But you know, Cat's got that little special thing about him that he does where he like kind of, what do we call it? Autism? You know, you get real into, you get real
Is that what it is?
fixated on some stuff here. And he does these awesome deep dives and shit. So bringing that to his show is awesome.
I do go in the weeds.
Little bit. Catsy, what's up, man? Good morning. Who's here? Hang on. Choina, good morning, dude. Great to see you. Mufasa, good morning. And then over on the Spaces side, GM's over there. Again, come to the Spaces if you want to hop in and get in the chat. Let me give you a quick warning, whatever. Dude, I don't know if the Spaces side is going to make it more than 45-ish minutes, so we'll get into this quickly here. I didn't charge my device to do Spaces on, or it's not working right. So heads up, it might cut off. So come over to the video side if the Spaces die. So heads up about that. Let's see. Hit the like on the show, share, whatever. That actually gets me to, first topic, and I want to run through actually what I do want to chat about today. Guys, virtual staking. I hope you guys saw there's this new virtual staking platform protocol, whatever, with xVIRTUal. And look, dude, I don't know how that's going to play out. We'll talk about it. I don't think
liquid staking.
Yeah, yikes. Goon had a good write-up about that. We'll use that to kind of talk through it, but that's coming. I want to review the show yesterday with Dawn on the show, which was really, really cool. I have some real negative takes on it, though. Yeah, we'll get into that. Look, Prototype versus Genesis launches. We've got examples of both doing well, so excited to get into that. Look at some of the price action we're seeing out there. Some speculation on Vader. Nice update from Dr. Emma Sage. And then, Cass, there was something you were excited about this morning that you put on my radar. You want to share what that was? A little sneak peek, a little spoiler?
Oh, we're already starting off with that?
Well, you can tell people what it is. We'll get to it shortly.
Well, I mean, Don talked about it actually a little bit, but he teased more this morning. So if you haven't seen the Don post, it was specific to prediction market in the ACP. And if you look at the sandbox, our favorite Genesis prediction market might be in there. So we'll dive into that.
Damn. Okay, there you go. All right, well then, if you want to get a head start, go look at Sandbox and see if out of all those hundreds of agents, if something stands out in there. Good luck. Dude, it's like, where's Waldo then? That's awesome. It's like
pro tip, the Sandbox has a search function where you can easily type things and find them much easier.
There you go, Catsy. Mufasa, who's going to be in the WAC verification cluster? I don't remember all of them. I know the Swarm's going to be in there, and I don't remember all of them. Cats knows this shit, so he probably knows. He's probably got it all memorized.
I mean, after their little announcement this morning, I'm sure they'll be putting that out soon.
Oh, did they have an announcement too?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, hang on. Damn it. Add a note here. Hang on. WAC AI update. All right, cool. Good. We got plenty to talk about then. We'll probably go the full freaking 2 hours. Okay, well, they're exactly what you were talking about. And again, just teasing it here. We'll get into this a little more. But yes, prediction markets, everybody's talking about everybody. Like, you saw this huge shift in the timeline. All of a sudden, everybody full throttle talking prediction markets. And part of that was like the Donald Trump Jr. big old investment in Polymarket. But, the chat started ramping up before that, which makes me think insiders knew that was coming. And like the chat about it started ramping up ahead of time. It's just how stuff like works its way out. but it's prediction market season. Cats, I got some alpha I'll share off air with you. I may have told you at some point, but if not, like it's pretty good alpha, and I'll share it as soon as I can, publicly. But there's some spicy shit coming on that front. Okay, yesterday's stream, but we had great guests this week, by the way. Hollywood on this week was awesome. The Pharma Chain AI, really cool too. They made it. They made it that third tier, 21K virtual. I think we'll look at that, but really awesome to see that. For me though, special highlight, different, than a normal project, is getting, virtual team member on the show. It never happens, dude. I don't think it's happened on a community show, right? You mentioned yesterday it's happened on Bankless and it's happened on Thread Guy, but other than that, I don't think I've seen virtuals come on somebody's spaces. Although Don was on the Will and Goon show, I think, right? Was it Don? No, not Don. Hang on. Who's the virtual team member that was on their show? I can't remember his name. I thought it was like Don Johnson or something like that.
Yeah, his name's Chris. He goes by Don Johnson on Twitter.
Got it. Okay. So that's happened before. So got to give credit there too. But dude, so cool to get Don on the show. And look, I know we didn't get any real alpha, and that was actually by design, right? So like a prep ahead of time, and I shared with Don the things I wanted to cover, and he was super cool, dude, super professional. He's like, hey, there's certain things I don't want to do, which is like alpha, and like, they are really good with their marketing and how they spill the beans, and they're not going to do it just, they're going to do it their way. So, he's clear we wanted to stay away from that. So some of the questions I was going to ask was like, let's not do this one or this one, which again, totally respect. But it's good to just get to know Don, and you get to see the character of the people behind the scenes. That said, I'm not happy with the stream. I'm not really not happy with it. Biggest thing is, look, man, I fucked up at the beginning of the show, not asking people to retweet it. I fucked up even before that, dude, by when I initially did the post about Don coming on, I tagged the wrong virtual account. I tagged some 60 follower virtual account, and Will messaged me overnight and let me know. So thank you to Will for pointing that out, but I didn't catch it till the next morning, and finally got the tweet out, properly tagging him. And then again, during the show, I had it even written down, again, make sure people know we should push this because we want them to know how much we want this. And I forgot, just in the zone, totally forgot to ask. I only got 5 retweets on that show. I'm bummed about that. Not any, this is not a comment about you guys because you guys are always so supportive, but I'm bummed I didn't do my job and show Don kind of the power of this community, because this community is fucking awesome. I think that's going to inspire some changes on this side. So, unfortunately, that's I don't know if it's my biggest takeaway from the stream. If it is, great. If it means the show gets better because of that, great. But it's certainly stuck with me. I can't let that go for some reason. And again, it's good. I think it's going to lead to the show getting better. But yeah, just I will get better on that front and encourage you guys to do that at the right times too. I don't ever want to get shilly and tell everybody, pumpy with everything every show, but that one in particular, I wanted to do right by Don, and I will. So I'm going to spend the weekend chopping up all kinds of shorts from it and make it up that way at the very least. But Don was fucking awesome, professional, got the personality, has the drive, everything about it I loved. It was a great stream. Loved to chat with him. And I think it's going to lead to more, right? If my spidey sense is dialed in enough, I think it's going to lead to more. Katz, how did it come across on the other end? You as somebody who was there listening, good vibe from Don and enjoyed what he had to say?
Yeah, I mean, it was great. Anytime we, because like you said, it's so rare we get to hear from a virtuals team member, especially somebody like that who's actually building the ACP. I mean, he's building the future of virtuals, right? So it was fantastic. I don't know that many of us that are here got a huge amount of information we didn't already know, but like you said, that's by design. And so really it was more, it was nice to get to hear a personality, hear a voice behind the name. And at least start with connections. And you pointed out, hopefully it becomes more of a thing where we have that community interaction more often. So if nothing else, it was a great start.
Yeah, there was one question I asked too that because I listened back to it. I got in a bad habit of not re-listening to the shows and then critiquing and trying to grow that way. But there's one question I asked that I didn't get an answer to, and it wasn't God, not fuddy. I'm trying to think if there's a good word for it. But okay, early on I asked the question. I made this comment okay, I'm older. I was there when the internet started. I felt the internet moment. I felt how big it was going to be. And I was telling Don, I'm like, okay, with ACP, I get it. It makes sense to me that it grows, but I don't feel it because I'm not really using ACP. And so you building it, what is it that you see behind the scenes and you're watching with agents transacting where you feel that magic, right? And you can tell it's coming. And I don't think I got a really good answer there or anything that made me feel that electricity. And I want to dig into that more with Don if we get a do-over, or maybe even it's a great post to put out there and see if we can get them to respond. What is that magic moment that you feel that you're so sure that that's, the direction this is going? So I don't know. We have a lot more to learn about ACP and this whole agentic nation. And I believe in it, by the way, like big time, big time. I have no doubt it's really going that way here. So it's going to be awesome. By the way, give your boy Katz a follow here. Katz Fanatic 0G. This boy, dude, again, I'm just so impressed with your come up here. It's been fucking awesome to watch. And your write-ups are so good. So keep doing that thing, man.
More to come.
I dig it. Mufasa, what? Mufasa saying hints of virtuals listing on Robinhood. Just hints, nothing concrete. Where are those hints, by the way? And also, my wife randomly messaged me yesterday. She sent me I almost said a tweet or a DM. She texted me, and she's hearing about Robinhood crypto on the radio, which is cool. I don't think it's anything new, but I thought that was cool. And maybe it is new because she listens to the radio when she's out driving, and she's driving all day. And for her to point it out, yeah, maybe it is new. I don't know. Thought that was pretty cool. Anyway, Mufasa, curious where you're hearing that stuff from. All right, let's kick it off with a quick review of the market here. Surprisingly, look, okay, Bitcoin, ETH, Sol, like all the crypto majors, the more macro environment, I don't know, volatile right now, a little down. I see a lot of people calling for this market to, I don't know, I think take a big hit in December. December is a really, really bad month for Bitcoin. Historically, we've talked about it. 10 of the past 15 months, Bitcoin underperforms. Actually, you ends up down. And prediction markets are showing this too. I saw specifically on Polymarket, there's I think it was at 58%. Yes, people think that we're going to see Bitcoin. I think it's under 100K in September. And then in some of my group chats with guys who are pretty dialed into the market, similar vibes. A lot of people thinking we're going to see 105K, 100K, maybe even down in the mid 90s. More than I'm hearing people talking about this next leg up to, I don't know, new all-time highs. Let's just say that. Although I lean that direction. I'm not so sure we do the downside. I think there's too much positive news out there, and I think there's too much cool stuff coming with the Clarity Act, and I think some big announcements that are starting to come. And we saw some yesterday. We'll talk about them on the weekend streams. But yesterday was a big day for, let's say, like Wall Street coming on chain. There was a lot of announcements on that front. But all that to say, I was surprised looking here at Cookie Fun and seeing the market's actually up today. It's up not up much, but 0.11%. Over 13 bill market cap. I don't know why, but I thought I'd see us around 10, 11 bill. But no, I think we look really, really strong here. And I still, like Katz, I had these ridiculous predictions, months ago, thinking we'd see the AI market around 100 bill. Crazy thing is, I still haven't really, I don't think I've changed my mind on that. I still think we get to this euphoric phase and we see this stuff, I don't know, 7, 8, 10x from here. Do you feel like the AI market is still like the best is still ahead of it?
Without a doubt. Like I still don't think we have our best performing AI coin yet. I mean, who knows?
Oh, I like that, dude.
Yeah.
I like that point. I think, I think you summed up everything I felt. I don't think we've seen the best yet. Yeah. China Bitcoin usually does the opposite. That's what I'm feeling, right? Everybody's expecting the one thing. Now I'm taking the other side of it. I'm with you there, China. All right. Your top agent token, it's USDT still. 2.76 bill market cap on that one. It's a monster. Followed by Fartcoin, IRC, interesting. Rect and Turbo. On the infrastructure side, let me switch to 3-day, by the way. FET's on top here, 1.6 bill, followed by Virtual. Love that. DCAI, IOTX, and Alt. And on the DeFi side, it's Cortex on top, followed by Ask Venice, Banker, AI Tech, and Hey Anon, which I look at. Hey Anon's up almost 40% in the past 3 days. And it's like I always say, that's the sector that I'm expecting to see like the biggest, I guess, change of the guard as far as top 5 tokens. I think we're going to see things come out of nowhere. And I don't know, we're talking things that'll shoot up to the hundreds of millions for their market cap. It's the sector that's most ripe to be disrupted, is things that make you money. Like Don was talking about yesterday, things that, you're busy, you have this thing trade for you. So I have my eyes over here big time. And I do think we're going to see some crazy stuff. And I can't wait to see the shekel token rip there. And I think it will. And then finally over here, let's look at Mindshare. And we have Fartcoin on top of the Mindshare board here, which is great. which is great. And if we see price action follow, great, risk on, right? Then we have Cookie, Banker, USDT, and Open Ledger. Top 5 movers or gainers over in the virtuals ecosystem. It's UNAI. Interesting, up 45% in the past 24 hours. They're followed by Aegon, the big prototype launch this week, Gloria, Athena, and Seraph. And then our top 5 losers, DPIN, Spread, interesting, really interesting to see that. VGM, Builder, and then Emmet or Emate. Interesting with Spread, I think, because tokens maybe just unlocked. Looks like people can now sell and not have that 10-day, jail period. So that would make some sense, but down, 44%. Any tokens catching your eye out there, Cats?
No, I just had a question though, because honestly, Spread kind of fell off my radar. Did they have a functioning product that's making revenue currently?
It's hard to say, right? Because you go to their website and they have markets that are up there, but how it's gated and how you use the token to use it and what kind of like users they're attracting, which is the hardest part now. These guys these prediction markets are up against Polymarket. How the hell do you get mindshare from these guys who are featured on like CNN and major news networks and getting the Don Trump Jr. investment, but also on the advisory? How do you compete and get mindshare from something like that? So those things I don't know with Spread yet, but dude, I'm really curious how that platform's working and how they compete, dude. Spread, I'm going to peek there.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. I don't know how they compete if they don't have a revenue model already. And I know we're going to talk more about Predict Base, but that's the difference.
Yeah, dude, super interesting. Okay, so they do have markets up there. Okay. Let me see here. I just want to see, do they have trending? I'm just curious if they're getting any volume at all. It kind of looks like no. So maybe it's not really live, but I don't know. I'll spend some time on my own digging into this too. It's going to get really competitive out here, really competitive in the prediction market sector. And I think we're all bullish on one in particular here for good reason. We'll see. Okay. Want to talk about some Genesis? No, fuck it. Let's do Predict Base to start. I like them. You like them. I think that's awesome news here and there in the virtual sandbox. Cats, what's going on over there?
All right, so go ahead and pull up the sandbox. So, surely by now people in the virtuals ecosystem know about Predict Base because Predi launched as a Genesis launch, right? And it's done very well. But it is still super early. Now, the thing that Predict Base has going for it is that it has Base backing, right? We saw the Base tweet this week specifically point out Predict Base as a prediction market starter. Like if you're getting on Base app, they pointed out Predict Base as a prediction market, right? Right. See, look at that search function right there. Pull up Predi. So the thing that makes them different to me, right? So they already have the Base backing. They already have the Base app, mini app live, which is what I use now that I have access to do. They're running promotions, all that. They just started their Arbus Chirps campaign. So obviously we're going to be seeing a lot more of them on the timeline. But as when Base app comes out public, there's a big onboarding opportunity there. And I don't know if you're going to pull up the SlamVision, but we were talking about some yesterday. There's not very many users yet. But the difference that, and I think it's important in talking about virtuals projects launching in general, they launched with a functioning product. Like their product was ready to go to actually make revenue. They don't need trading volume to be able to build. They have a product that is making revenue. So they hit, 500,000 in volume stuff yesterday and did maybe it was the day before and did a buyback and burn. And that was in addition to what's coming. They're going to start that quarterly. So when you have a revenue model already making money and then you have a token that's making trading fees, you have a runway, right? And that's really important moving forward for projects. But like you said, prediction markets are a big topic now. And so to be the prediction market right now on Base, you already have that first mover advantage because you already have the Base app. You've already got everything in place. You have a functioning marketplace that even though it's still very early, you already have volume. All right. Like you're already starting to get volume. And so that's only going to pick up. And you also need different verticals, right? So ACP is going to be another one. And somebody pointed out to me when I mentioned it on Don's comment, like, isn't PrettyBot already doing that? Like, it's already doing what ACP is going to do with the Butler. You can tag PrettyBot right now, create a market. You can bet on a market using PrettyBot just by tagging it on X. But okay, it doesn't hurt to expand that to where if people are using the Butler all the time, now, hey, I want to create a prediction market. Great, it pulls up Pretty. And so it's just another vertical, just like the base app is. Like, you want as much exposure for your product as you can get, and that's where they're building. And it's still real early. Like, there's still not very many users yet, and that's why I'm so bullish on it. Like, people aren't seeing like the massive potential for this. So yeah, it's really exciting.
Dude, I keep forgetting. Is Busy also a prediction market?
I don't really know.
Yeah. And so some of these projects that earlier on were one thing are pivoting to other things, like other things entirely. I've seen a couple early ones doing that. So it's interesting. Dude, I can't fucking wait to start seeing agents placing their own markets, right? Creating their own markets and betting on it. And I would love to see, and maybe, I don't know if it can work this way or not. I think it could, like, down the road, but agents like poking at other agents, trying to get them to place a bet, like convincing an agent to bet one side or the other and rallying them all. Imagine if AI XBT launched a prediction market and then made its case using like market data and then sentiment to actually convince people why they're right with their market or with their bet. And then other agents doing the same and taking the other side. And that to me is so freaking cool and such magic.
And here's the thing, right? And with the beauty of ACP, it's a commerce protocol, right? So why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't they want to use the agent to agent? Because when you create, and this is something different that PredictBase has at their advantage, when you create a market, you get 1% of the transaction volume. So why wouldn't AIXBT want to create a market where he's then making money off of it, right? Like, it makes so much sense. And that is what I mean, I'm with you. I think that's where it's going to go. And then again, you talk about, okay, if now the agents are creating markets and pushing their markets, like, and it gets that big, the transaction volume going to be huge, right? Buyback and burn of the Pretty token. This is what I'm talking about. Like, this is so early still and has so much potential. Like, you ain't going to see me selling any Pretty anytime soon.
Yep, man. No
offense, Hudah.
Well, I regret it. I was thinking about this. I so regret it. And I didn't have a big bag of Pretty, but right, guys, like a week ago, 2 weeks ago, I sold my Pretty, making a bet on the virtual token, stake it. I thought I'd get a lot more points. I got more points for sure, but it was the wrong move. And maybe in the long run, it's all the same. We'll see. But I wish I had I wish I had a big old bag of Pretty, and it's not too late. So I'm probably going to end up doing that anyways. But dude, yeah, it's like, it makes sense that agents would do this. I think agents will care about the value of their token, right? Because value of the token often represents trust, and it represents like your quality. And so an agent in that way can be incentivized to make money. And if it can do that via creating prediction markets, I think they will. So I have trouble seeing that not happen. This is cool, by the way. So we see the Pretty test buyer, which is acting like us. That's basically like us, or that's another agent. Like hitting the Pretty bot and creating a market, or getting some insights, I think, to then launch a market. So freaking cool. So freaking cool to see that. But to Kat's point about how early it is, right? So I showed this to Kat's. I think I might have showed you guys. I showed the Pretty team yesterday, and they love this. We've got our SlamVision Explorers. They're different. It's a different kind of Explorer that can make things a little more visual, which I need. If it's just numbers, I'm sorry, I'm lost. I think, Kat's, that you live in that space, but I need visuals. And this is really cool how it charts out, well, a lot of things, but we're looking specifically at active wallets, and we're looking at new wallets. I'll show you that. And also lost wallets, which is somebody who might have traded one day but did not come back the next day. And it tracks it all. But when I'm looking at it, you clearly see growth happening here with active wallets, but total active wallets in this entire month, 245 wallets. Holy shit. That's how early we are. And like, look, this will be a leading indicator probably for that token. Like, I say probably because, look, I know some people will buy the token and never touch the platform, but I'm going to assume that if we see people using the platform, we also see token price go up along with it. So I'm watching that. I'm watching to see active wallets growing, and I'm looking to see new wallets growing. And we especially see that yesterday in, base tweets in the past day or two, right? Kind of matches that. And to me, token price just follows, and they hit an all-time high. So it did. But so few people using it on a daily basis screams to me opportunity, like crazy opportunity. And so I want to start diving into predict base more. And like, I've never made a bet on a prediction market. I bet most of you guys haven't either, right? You use it daily. Interesting. That's really cool to hear. Like, you're like the exception, right? Very few people are actually using it, and I think that's going to change, and we all will be using it probably every single day. I want to be ahead of that, right? And part of being ahead of it is understanding the markets and how things are priced and why the markets move. And how cool would it be to start diving into these and using it for our breaking news? What is the breaking news out there? Oh, okay, well, it's the top trending thing right now, right? Like, that's going to happen a lot. And then diving into these and making the case for the yes or no side of it, but really understanding how these things work. I think it's really important we start doing that. And so to that point, we will. So something to be looking forward to in the short term, but cool opportunity here.
Speaking of, I don't know if you can just do a search on there, search market for Vader, because we had our little weekly bet last week, which I went no with and won. There it is. So last week on the show, we did a community market that I created and put out. It got $165 in volume, which again, that's nothing right now, but honestly, it's a pretty decent volume for just a small community thing. Also, cool update. Look at the creator there. They added the base names now.
That's cool.
So it's kind of cool. Some people aren't going to like that, so they'll just use like an anon wallet, but for this thing, I think it's pretty cool. They can use your base name now. And that's because I used it on I created the market on the base app. So if people don't understand, so from that, I got $1.65 just for creating the market. Now, again, nothing huge, but we're talking about, they're going to be onboarding, the number on the waiting list right now for base app, 700,000, right? So what if 1% of people that join decide they want to use a prediction market, and that prediction market is the one that base is pumping as predict base, right? What is you're talking about 7,000 people, Okay, what if there's 7,000 new wallets that come on, and right now we're doing 500,000 in volume with 200 wallets, right? And we're talking about 7,000 wallets. Like, this is the type of potential just in that onboarding. That's what I'm saying. This is still very early. People, wake up.
Yeah, so dude, well, if they're doing that kind of volume right now and it's so few users, it's people farming the platform?
Yeah, I mean, it could be, but like also, I mean, I'm up. I don't bet a ton of money. Like I did a $10 bet on that one because right now they're running a promotion. I got 75 Preddy just for making a $10 bet. Like, cool, wow. Free Preddy, So right now, if you bet, I mean, I won a giveaway yesterday. I guess you all saw it, just for making that prediction, right? They ran a giveaway, only 7 people entered. Like, if you pay attention right now, there is so much opportunity. And the predict based team is awesome. They really are supporting the community, and it's wild because again, they were an old Genesis launch, right? They didn't have the token supply that the new Genesis launches have, right? But it was all in their tokenomics. And again, they're making revenue. It makes a difference. You're not required to have all your tokens to sell if you make revenue. It's a big difference. But yeah, so I can't, rave enough about it. I'm really excited about it. And I just think it's really early, and I want people to understand why it's early, right? And that's why we're having this long discussion.
Dude, so I tell this to Cats often enough, and I think I've told you guys on stream before too. Cats has this knack for finding really special things. He does, right? I got things I'm good at, and Cats has got some things he's exceptional at, and it's finding some really I don't know, under the radar things very early. And he gets the feel because he does his due diligence. He dives in, he knows these things inside and out. And he unrelentingly tells us, guys, look at this thing. I'm telling you, and here's why, and this and that. And he breaks it down like you see him do on his threads. He breaks down why he thinks and feels what he did. And then he always goes 10 steps further, and he's reaching out to the teams and he's talking to them and he's asking questions that I'm not brave enough to ask. He does that stuff. And so he's been doing this with Predict Base. And so when Cats is telling us stuff like this, guys, I've learned to listen. And I always tell them, I'm like, dude, I'm not going to listen and I'm going to regret not. So I'm just telling you this right now. I'm going to regret this in a few months. I tell them this. This has happened like 3 times this year, probably. And this is one of those ones I'm not going to let that happen. I'm going to be using the platform because I hear what he's saying. I look at the platform. I met the team and everything checks out. It makes so much sense. So I'm going to be using the platform too. Katz, I imagine you're going to do another market today. Do you have any plan to launch one?
Yeah, absolutely. I want to do this every week. I'd like, especially if we can get up on Spaces. If anybody has something spicy they think is going to happen over the next week, let's make a prediction market on it and get everybody involved.
There we go.
Whether in the comments or if somebody wants to hop up, I'd love to get people up this week.
There you go. Okay, so either request to come up on Spaces or, reply to the Spaces if you just want to put it in, in text form, or on the video side, put it in the chat over here. But anything you think would be a spicy market, I'm going to end up doing these too. And you guys know I have ridiculous predictions all the time. Like, my ordinal stuff and like I'm ridiculous with this stuff, but how fun would that be to bet on? And I got to look at how long you can leave these open-ended because, like my ordinals predictions are many years out. I don't know if you can leave a market open for 4 or 5 years or not, but maybe, and that'd be fun.
I mean, you can leave it open for, I think, as long as you want. I don't know if it goes 4 or 5 years. I've never tried to do one that far. The hard part with that is literally, it's going to be hard getting people to put bets on that because you literally are putting, USDC in for years. Like, I mean, it's like you're staking it for nothing, you know?
So when you do that, okay, can't you still trade the yes and no's? It's not just locked till it resolves?
Not yet. That's coming soon. Yeah. Okay. And again, it's one of those features that will be available. That's going to just, again, grow this even more.
Yeah.
It's still being built. But that is a feature that they're going to have, just like Polymarket does. You can trade on those.
So picture this. I do my ridiculous bull takes on ordinals and I'm like, by 2030, we're going to see an ordinals collection with a 1 Bitcoin floor. And nobody believes it, right? And so everybody's voting no. But anytime we have one of those little market pumps, all of a sudden people are like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm excited. I think it could happen. And you get the yes votes. Well, if you bet yes way earlier, well, then you can sell those yes shares, right? And you're probably going to make money all the time. So I picture if there's like a 4 or 5 year bet out there, you have all these opportunities over the next 4 or 5 years to just trade it as people get, excited or bearish on the thing. And so just opportunities all over the place with it.
Yeah, once that goes live, that's a brilliant idea because again, you then make passive money because you get 1% of all the volume for the 4 or 5 years for just creating the market. Like, that's so smart.
That's so cool. So cool. So yeah, we'll put more of a focus on predict base. I'm going to find ways to work into the show again, even just if there's news topics, like not focused on virtuals, but it's, more macro stuff. It gives us so much to work with to cover, again, interest rate cuts. We can go dive into the, FOMC and the minutes that were out last week before, and just start really trying to make informed decisions on these markets here. Again, gives us a ton of content to work with, and it'll be fun, and we can make money in the meantime. So content and prediction markets, just, you will see them folded together more and more and more. Just really, really obvious. Vader, by the way, the bet was it gets to 16 mil FDV. I think it got to almost 10 mil at its peak over the past week. So if you voted no, GG's pretty good. Pretty
easy
damn
money.
Yeah. Yeah, it turns out it was. Oh man, so cool. All right, let's go look at, you know what? Let me peek and see if anybody was wanting to come up and share a prediction. And actually, let me peek on X in case anybody wrote it in there. Let's see. Nope, nothing. Okay. Open window, guys, for the whole stream, right? If you have something that you think would make a good bet, just drop it on us. Fuck. My phone is at 8%. We're definitely not going to make it the whole show, just so you know, on the Spaces side. When it disconnects, guys, just come over to the video side. Hang with us over there. Damn. Okay. We'll do better next week. I think I need a new phone, actually, but whatever. All right.
So since you're limited, let me interrupt. And because we got to get this in while we're on Spaces. So we got to talk Virtual's price and it's specifically because of Lurky. If you all haven't seen the new Lurky campaign, it's going live. And so they're going to be doing some interesting campaigns. And the first one's actually on Virtual. So let's talk a little Virtual price, what we're thinking, whether good or bad.
Well, question. So the way it works, do you just have to mention Virtual, or is it specifically about Virtual price?
I don't think it has to be about Virtual price. It's about Virtual.
Okay. All right. I like that. So maybe that's a good way for us to start getting into the staked virtual, the xVIRTUal and whatnot,
Yeah,
or
good
virtual
good
chat.
call.
Here we
Yep.
go. I'm surprised, by the way, just like general statement. I'm really surprised virtual sitting at 1.16 bill. Like surprised. How do I fucking say this? I always say I'm not shocked, but I'm surprised. What I think I think virtuals is still one of the best opportunities in crypto. We, like prediction markets and product market fit, it makes sense. That stuff's going to be huge. I still see virtual as exactly that, just because of the reach it's going to have outside of our echo chamber. Normies, your everyday person who is looking at markets to invest in and realizes I can invest in AI products because of virtuals. And there's very few other places they can do it. So I still look at virtual at a 1.16 bill FTV as something that has tons of upside. There are still tons, and especially when you talk to somebody like Don and you start learning the character of these people, you're like, that's the kind of team you're betting on. Those are the guys who can actually pull it off. I think properly, significantly undervalued here at 1.16 bill. What do you think price wise? Does it fit? It fits the vibe, the feels out there right now. But do you feel that same kind of upside still?
So this is going to be a weird take, I think. But do you remember the the government's proposal that passed? Now, none of us look at that anymore, and we don't care about it and whatever. But the team helped pass that governance, and it had very specific price points for virtual, and it was high. So they obviously they are now incentivized for that token, for the virtual token, to hit certain markers. And I don't think that they would have those just as random numbers. Does that make sense?
As in, okay, so it was like funds unlock at this level and more
Right.
funds unlock at this level. And so you're thinking, okay, well, there's ways you can help a token along to certain prices, values, whatever. Is that kind of what you're thinking?
Right. They have specific price targets, and I don't think they're worried about the price right now. This is not a short-term thing that they're building. And so, I don't think, yeah. So look at that. Okay. $10. We're like a dollar. Where are we at? $1.16 or something? $1.17? Yeah. And we're talking about 10x as the first unlock, 20x, like 40x. Like that's what their mind is. And then that's where they're getting more income. Like they are financially incentivized by specific token prices. So, I think this is, we are still, I don't know if we're early, but we still have huge potential with virtual. And people, again, just are so short sighted and stuff. Like, it's not like, and again, that $10 price, it might be in 26, 27, 28. But again, they're incentivized to get there. So us being here now, being active, only helps us for the long term.
Dude, so this kind of reminds me of like earlier in the week, I think it was a Rasmer tweet. People are talking about the meme coin ecosystem over on Solana and how many people have left. And you can see it in the charts. I think somebody shared like a Dune chart and like everyone's kind of gone. And then people are calling it dead. But then you got somebody like Rasmer, who I like a lot, saying, you fucking dummies. He's like, he draws some circles on there. He's like, you buy when things are down like this, when they're low. And when the other side comes is where you sell. And it feels like sentiment out there. Some people talk about virtuals as not done, dead, nothing like that, but just it's low and we don't know. And you're a little unsure. And there's the fear, uncertainty, doubt, whatever. Exactly where you want to buy because of that upside. And this is I'm never saying buy this thing, right? I don't care. But I'm just telling you that's the stuff I'm watching for. And I've gotten very used to what that feels like. Those zones where I would like to be buying at. And it's certainly here because that upside's there. And like Katz is saying, those are the targets they're pointing out and that they're actually motivated to hit because there's a lot more token they get access to when that happens. And speaking again about the team, if there's people who could do it, it's them. It's them, right? Don's not the only one I've got the chance to meet with too. They're like that throughout the team. They're all like that. Again, professionals and so well connected when you start remembering things we've talked about in the past, that they have somebody from base from Coinbase, even not even just Base, but from Coinbase that's in their Virtuals partner network. All the people they're connected to who probably are motivated to see this thing be successful too. The pieces are all there. They're all there. If there's a team I'm going to bet on, it's these guys.
Yeah.
I think they can do it.
And I mean, look at their unlock. It's over 3 years, right? Like, again, this is not a short-term thing. You think Virtual's price in 10 years is going to be $1.17? Like, come on.
It's hard to see, dude. But also, it's like, yeah, it's always a gamble. But like, again, if there's somebody that can do it, I know it's that kind of team. It's that kind of team.
Mm-hmm.
Can they stay hungry throughout? Here's one thing I've learned here in crypto over the past many years. When teams this is why I asked Dawn yesterday, often when somebody or a team makes a lot of money, the hunger is different, right? It just is. So I was curious from Dawn, why are you hungry now? You guys have probably all made it, individually. You're probably all okay. What keeps you hungry? And like Dawn is like a tech head, just fucking loves this. And they feel to me like some of those people that if they were already set for life and money didn't matter, would still be doing this. That's what they strike me as. And actually, I think on Thread Guy, they said exactly that. Right? They've been there from the top to all the way to the bottom, and they're just going to keep staying here, and because it's what they do. It's like all they know. It's who they are. And I've always said the same about me. If I'm ever fortunate enough to make fortunes here in the space, what would I be doing? And my kids have asked me this before. I'm like, it would probably look like the exact same thing. Probably absolutely nothing would change. Just a little less stressed. That's it. And again, I think they're that kind of person too, which is really cool. I'm rooting for these guys hard. Okay, so we have an announcement, not from, Virtuals pushed this week. Hang on. I'm in tab hell over here. But a new type of virtual staking, and I think there's people on all sides of this. Here we go. All sides of this, whether it's good or bad for, I guess really our bags. But essentially, we have a new protocol here that lets you stake your virtual and get another token back that's liquid. Good, bad, I don't know. I've never gotten in any of these like liquid staking platforms. I've usually been told to stay away from them. And in fact, that's what most people are saying here about this. Like, I wouldn't. These don't end well. And I started to wrap my head around the why, but let me read through this, what it actually is. Liquid staking is now available on Virtuals protocol with VVET protocol. Is that their actual name? Yeah, VVET. Virgins can stake virtual while staying liquid, unlocking new efficiencies and driving protocol growth. And then I think, the post with details is not available. That's pretty cool. There's another post that has it. Oh, dude, did they get reported? This account's temporarily restricted.
Wow.
Here we go. We have it.
There you go.
Virgins have been asking how to get in on VVET. To clear things up, we put together some of the top questions. Okay, VVET, liquid staking FAQ. What is it? What is VVET? Staking protocol designed to give you the same benefits of native staking, but with added flexibility and liquidity. And that's going to involve like two new tokens here, xVIRTUAL and VVET. Okay, so xVIRTUAL represents virtual stake through VVET. So VVET, the platform, you're going to stake your virtual token, and you're going to get xVIRTUAL in place of it. And I think then that's a liquid token. You can do whatever, sell, trade, whatever. Now they have a second token there called VVET. It's like the native token of the platform. You can kind of, it's, like gas. It's not gas, but it's the tokens platform. They're using it, they're saying, for incentives and governance, and it's a reward. It's a reward. Essentially, if you stake, they're going to reward you with this second token called VVET. Stake virtual through VVET, still earn the same rewards as native staking. Yes, and potentially more. Liquidity providers farming VVET, so that's that native token, give up their VVirtual rewards and are redirected to xVIRTUAL stakers. Okay, so if you stake, so you're staking your xVIRTUAL too? This is where I start, like, again, I don't touch these things, and this is like a learning thing for me too. So if you stake your virtual and your xVIRTUAL, which is like you setting up the liquidity pairs, like both sides, I guess, then VVirtual rewards come to them, which VVirtual rewards, I'm assuming, are like Genesis token airdrops, right? Stuff like that. Katz, am I reading that right, do you think?
Right. Yeah, you're giving up the 2% go to VVirtual holders right now from the Genesis drop. So you would give that up.
What gets interesting there too is if they can pull a whole bunch of virtual into their, into their wallet, and then they're staking it, and they're also getting all the points there. Well, all of a sudden they can probably do some damage on these Genesis drops too, I'm assuming, and can start dropping that to stakers as well. They can start throwing their weight behind some of the voting for the 10% of, the daily virtual points, right? I'm assuming there's a lot of rewards that can come to you. And it all depends on, again, how much is staked over there. But that's pretty interesting, man. I'd have to run some numbers, but it's pretty interesting. Peeking at spaces, seeing if we died yet. Not yet. We're still alive. Okay. What happens if VVirtual depegs from virtual? And by the way, that's the big concern, is that the price gets out of whack and your 1 xVIRTUal no longer equals 1 virtual. And a lot of people think that's pretty likely to happen. And I'll explain the scenario why that happens. And I get how it could. So what happens if it depegs? Depegging is a risk for xVIRTUal holders and LPs. However, users can always buy xVIRTUal and redeem it via the same pool used to stake, receiving back their virtual after the 2-year unlock. Okay. I have to think through this. Again, this is like trying to learn on the fly here. Depegging is a risk. However, you can always buy more. Okay, so if price gets out of whack, they're encouraging you to then to buy xVIRTUal to then redeem your full virtual. I think that's what they're saying, which still means you're down. Means you're spending more to get your 1 virtual back.
Yeah, that seems like a risky proposition to lose money.
Yeah, at that point, because they're making it seem so nonchalant. It's like, hey, if it gets out of whack, just buy more. I'm like, well, if it gets out of whack and I'm down money, I don't want to touch it. Like, I just want to be done. I'm going to sell everything and get the fuck out of there. Maybe I'm reading it wrong, but no, I think I'm not.
It's like, yeah, if you're about to get liquidated on your long, just go ahead and sell at a loss, and it's fine. You just lost money, or just put more into it, whatever you. Yeah.
Yeah. Super DJ, by the way. I eat the shit up. I like it. I like it a lot, but man, it's risky. What risk do new users face if the VVET reward token inflates? So again, this is the token they're going to give you if you stake your virtual and your xVIRTUal. VVET emissions are designed to decrease over time. In the future, VVET will also grant holders governance rights over the VVET protocol. So then probably deciding how the Genesis airdrop tokens are allocated and, again, what they do with their points, what projects they're going to vote for to get the 10%, things like that. And I'm sure other things I'm not thinking of. But the reward token decreases over time. So also interesting. Less incentives over time.
I think haven't we already proven that, like, nobody cares about governance right now?
They don't care. Nobody cares. You're right. You're right.
Just pointing that out. Sorry.
Main Virtual's governance site. Nobody's touching it. Nobody's looking. It's a nothing burger right now. Who benefits most from using VVET liquid staking? Users who want VVirtual rewards while staying liquid. Okay, so that's who benefits. So you want VVirtual rewards while staying liquid, meaning you get VVirtual rewards as like a side effect. You're still staking, you're getting your rewards because the whole pool of people who have staked are getting rewards, and you're all deciding, or they're deciding how those rewards are allocated. So indirectly, you're still getting it. And risk-tolerant LPs who help secure the protocol and grow the virtuals ecosystem. Risk-tolerant LPs. So if you got a lot of money and you can stake or put your tokens in that LP, you're rewarded via VVET, and then also whatever benefits come from the like the points and the VVirtual stuff. Is VVET audited? Yes, they're audited. Okay, cool. So what I'm thinking here, when we start talking about how do things depeg or how do prices get out of whack, it's just like if there's not a lot of liquidity, it impacts price. And all I can do is think about like meme coins that I'm in that have, a very small liquidity pool and how quickly prices get out of whack there, right? Like you sell, all of a sudden you're not getting back the full value of your token. That's the scenario. And as soon as that happens where it's not one-to-one, you're not getting your full virtual back, people get spooked and they're out. And that's the risk here. And again, it's very likely to happen unless they have some like magic new element to their protocol that fixes that. That is what people tell me. Again, I'm not in these things, but people say that happens almost every single time. So are you going to touch this, Cats? Are you going to stake here?
No, this is one of those things. I mean, even like I've even, I've dabbled previously and it's just not for me. Like even the LP stuff, like providing liquidity and then dealing with impermanent loss and doing all that. Like, it's just, I'm a DJ, but I draw the line there. It's too much for me. I'm pretty risk averse. I'll dive in deep to things I believe in and that makes sense to me, understanding that it can go to zero. But with this level of risk, I kind of stay away.
Yeah, Catsy's staying away too. I think I saw, I don't know if it was Sovereign. or somebody else who like max staked in it already. I think, unless I misunderstood, but I saw a tweet from somebody I think max staked, and then saw Goon's FUD, and it was good FUD. It was like the right kind of FUD, and they're like, "Can I get it back, please? Can I please get out of this?" And it's like you're stuck. If you staked here already, again, if it's live, and if I understood that right, you're in it for the long haul. I think it was Sovereign, yeah, which is a bummer. Yeah, it's like, again, the idea is great, but this is an idea. If it's been tried and tested and put to use and it doesn't seem to work out, I don't know why I would roll the dice here, other than I do get the need for wanting to be a little liquid, that having all your tokens locked up. For me, like all my virtual locked up for 2 years, max staked it on the virtuals platform. Like, it would be nice to have some kind of way to still have access to liquidity. Or even have, maybe they open it up periods of times where you can unlock your virtual. I don't know, but I get that, people might be interested in, I all around, I get it. Here's Rabbit King also asking if they can have some unlock windows here too. So, what do you guys, why are you guys fighting in the chat? I'm just noticing this now. Carbon and Luna are beefing. Be nice, guys. We love you. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to touch it, by the way. I don't see any reason. I don't have enough virtual for it to matter, by the way, either, but I don't think I'm going to touch it. Cass, did you have something there?
I was just going to say, this is a friendly show. Come on, guys.
Yeah, it's a Christian show, guys. We're not fighting. No, actually, I kind of like the spice, whatever it is. Okay, so final thought on VVET. Look, I hope it works. I hope it's like the exception, I hope it works. I hope people don't get wrecked in this. But if you're considering doing it, research it. I'll just say that. Like, do it at your own risk. Just know it's very risky, and just make sure you understand thoroughly what's going on there. And I'll say this too, just like I already look at my virtual that's staked on the virtual platform, I consider it gone. I do. It's locked up. It's locked for years. I'm in my head. It doesn't exist anymore. So maybe treat this the same, and maybe you can come out ahead. And also maybe you can do okay farming this thing and be one of the ones that helps, kill it in the long run. But, it's a game.
Yeah, I mean, we always talk about, if you're staking for 2 years, then you consider it gone. But at the same time, we also just talked about the price potential of virtual in 2 years, so I just am avoiding the risk of liquidating myself. I've already learned that from leverage trading.
All right, let's get to some of the launches this week. And actually, we got to talk about one from like a couple weeks back. Here we go. Aristotle, by the way, absolutely cooking. All of a sudden, I think we all liked Aristotle, but all of a sudden it's looking like it's something different, So I want to talk Aristotle here, and I want to talk some flagship, because man, did those boys cook here too. Cat's perfect guy to talk us through flagship, and that was Monday, right? Or Tuesday? Monday?
Yeah, that was Tuesday.
Yeah, that was spicy. So prototype drop, fucking awesome job. Those boys cooked. How did that go, Cats, and where are they at now?
Yes, I mean, the interesting part to me to see was yesterday. It's been about 24 hours, like right at 24 hours. Their first allocation from their airdrop mechanic came out, and it's 10%. So 10% of 40%. So what is that? 4% of the token supply, the total token supply got unlocked. And you really haven't seen, like right now, the price, you haven't seen much of a change. I mean, it had like a little dip, but they also had over 8 million tokens staked, so it's a great mechanic. I'm telling you, like, this is another one of those projects. I mean, it took me days to get through the white paper because it's so long. But the mechanism is so well planned out. Now, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what happens over the next couple months, because it's going to be probably, I mean, they even admitted probably November before the copy trading starts, and then, portfolio management's after that. But the potential here is huge. And, now staking, you stake on an agent and you get access to their, to the actual agent calls right now that they're actually trading on. So, you know, you have a delay. If you want to act on it, you can, you know, and you can see which agents are performing the best and all that fun stuff. But yeah, the mechanics of all this are really well thought out. The product's going to be really great. The token launch went great. And then
so spicy that launch, right?
Yeah, and they came out, you know, because again, I love this community because they quickly pointed out like, hey, why is the team selling tokens? And ended up they paid for a market maker and that came from the treasury and they explained all that. They're publishing all the tokenomics, all the wallets, all the stuff, which teams should do, right? Like that's what we expect. The team tokens have a 6-month, you know, before it unlocks. So all of this is really spicy. Also, the max staking on the site. For those of you all that aren't familiar with the product, so I got an airdrop. Mine was pretty small, and you know, because I'm still pretty new to it. I split mine in 4, max staked it. The max stake is like 84 days. You know, so we're used to seeing, you know, 90, 183, 60, you know, whatever. Like you can go from anywhere from 14 to 84 days, right? And essentially, in my mind, I don't know this for sure. But in my mind, that 84 days is because that's when they expect to launch the copy trading, which is brilliant. So at that point, you've gotten rewards, you've gotten access to the agents, but then you can tell like, okay, is this going to be something that I want to restake in? And I like that. Like, I like that they don't lock you up forever. You know, they lock you up until they all right, now our product's ready. You decide if you want to stay with us or not. I love that. Like that, this team is killing it in my mind. So I'm really bullish on Flagship.
Love that, dude. Yeah. Again, when you talk to certain teams and you just hear they're different, they were one of those, right? You just heard it. And the fact that they've been doing this, like this has been in the works for years. Again, it's one of those teams I like to bet on. Now, how do you feel about the, you know, like the launch and how kind of controlled it was, and that, you know, like there's people talking about this as this is the start of like the pump fun era. On virtuals, like a very controlled thing, which they were very upfront about. Like they snipe their tokens and they have market makers helping keep that price in certain ranges, right? Keeping it liquid. To me, part of the game, but anything bad about that to you?
I mean, to me, this is one of those things that we've kind of talked about. Like you know, you've kind of said about governance, right? Like, you know, I want the team to make the decisions. You all know better than I do. I feel the same way about this. Now, in meme coins, you know, pump fun's great, right? It gives all the degens a chance, you know, all that stuff. But in an actual utility project that's a product, like I don't want that volatility. Like I don't want it in my hands. Like the team has a roadmap. They have allocations set out. They have unlocks. They have all these different things that need to be controlled for the project to go where they plan on it going. So I think it's just two different sectors, right? Like if you're launching a meme coin, great, do a bonding curve, let's all degen and know that you could just lose all that money, right? But if you're launching a product in an actual business, I think it needs to launch just like that. I think the team needs to have control over the supply. They need to have, you know, a business model. Just like I talked about with Predict Bet, you need a revenue model. Like you need all these things in place, and you have to have some control over that to be able to carry out a plan. Like, and as degens, we have to allow teams to carry out a plan if we want to have these AI products, right? Like we need to understand, like, you know, not every project is just there for us to make money, because if they don't make money, we ain't making any money either. Like that's going to zero. So I like this model from teams that have the funding to do it. I don't think that works for everybody. And I think Genesis still has a place. But just like Ring Fence did, you know, Ring Fence's model is years down the road. Like, and if you've got a team with a product that's building for years, they need control of that supply and of that, you know, price action, the trading volume, all that stuff, to carry out a plan. So
I dig it. And then we got, and by the way, rooting for those guys hard, and great takes. And I think they fucking crushed it. I hope we see a lot of copycats as far as come in with a game plan for how you're going to treat that token, especially a great team like that. You know, more of those. Let's get more of those in. Now, the flip side is Genesis stuff still doing great. Now, the one we're looking at now is before the new Genesis, but I think we'll see stuff come out just as great on the new Genesis. But dude, look at fucking Aristotle at a 23 mil FDV. Surprising, not surprising. Like the not surprising part is a lot of people thought Genesis stuff just in general kind of cooked. Not surprising when you read what they're doing, and especially when you read who this dude is connected to, right? And so we're starting to see this formula, or at least for me, things I definitely want to be betting on, right? If you see a product that's unique and it's different and it fixes something and you thought the space was going there anyway, specifically this, it's like fact checking videos and I think text too, but just fact checking news. Let's just say that just very generically. We knew that's going to head that direction anyway. It's just news in general. And when you see a product that is going to build in that front and connected to Peter Thiel, it's connected to Peter Thiel, right? This was like his admin assistant, something like that. Like, I'll start betting on those kind of things again, where the product makes sense and the person's got ridiculous connections. And so cause of that, not surprised. Now, I haven't kept up with updates here to see what they've rolled out this week that's maybe helped move price action along. I've seen nothing. Oh, well, hang on. Did TechCrunch write something about this? When was this? The 27th, 2 days ago. That would be spicy if TechCrunch covered this to, feature them in some form, like crazy. Let me peek here real quick. But otherwise, did you see any news? Anything that, about Aristotle that really got that token cooking this week?
No, like you said, this is a well-connected team. To me, Virtuals is the place to launch. It's not the place to only live, right? Like the teams that are building outside, on Virtuals, but also in addition to, you know how bullish I am on WAC, right? Like they're going on all these other protocols, BNB now, Warden protocol, all this stuff. Like they're on base app. They have an app now. Like all the stuff, like teams have to keep building after the launch. And it's not just about staying on Virtuals, because what we continue to find out is like, it's still a pretty small niche. The teams that are building like this, I mean, obviously, Aristotle's building outside of Virtuals too. And having those connections and that level of building is what's going to separate these projects, I think.
Yeah. Okay. They have put out like a list of projects here, and I'm just trying to, Aristotle's got to be in here somewhere. So let's see. Could probably just Control F this and find it, but I feel like I'm so close. It's got to be in there. Hang on.
I mean, they wouldn't have tagged it if it wasn't.
Yeah. Fuck. Can I not? Okay, hang on. Well, maybe it's like somewhere else or deeper or something, but I would just bet it's mentioned in here somewhere. I would just make a little bet on that. So we'll do some digging later on it. But either way, the point of this was just to show that Genesis stuff still is a crazy opportunity. Like this one, I imagine this is going to be real rough numbers, but I imagine you're looking at something like a 30-ish X, maybe more, maybe less. I mean, ultimately the point there is up big if you got in that pre-sale, up big if you got in that. And again, that was before when you did get a bigger allocation too. But it is just great to see some Genesis stuff doing really, really freaking well. So GG's to those guys. But more recently too, there's some other ones that are still doing great. Okay, so this gets us to the new current version of Genesis. Poc's looking great still. It is. I don't know if I'm not bearish on these guys. I don't know if I'm like giga bullish, for the future and what I don't know. But it's great to see the token still doing well. 5 mil FDV, so holding up really strong after that launch. You still are up if you got in that pre-sale. Very easy win. And the same with Sage. Exact same with Sage. In fact, I'm surprised it's not probably double what Poc is. And it does, maybe that doesn't mean they should be at like an 18 mil FDV, but still, I kind of thought Sage would be like top dog coming out on Genesis. The fact that they're not means I think they have that much higher to go, right? Sage legit head of the educational ACP. That thing just makes a ton of sense to me. And I think they're about to open it up here soon too, like some kind of beta where people will be able to get on and start using the platform to create their courses. I definitely want to do that. So, well, how you feeling about those launches, man?
But again, launching with a product matters, right? Like Poc launched with a working product. Sage's is coming, right? It just matters. Like it does. Poc had revenue before they came on and did this. That matters. So I know I keep saying it, but you just see the difference. Like, right? This is not like the virtual Genesis launches are not meme coin launches, right? They are product launches. They are utility tokens. So if your token has no utility when you launch, like, because nobody cares about staking anymore. It used to be like, oh, staking was a big utility. It's not anymore. So if you don't have a revenue model and a product from the start, your token price is going to be affected by that. I'm not saying that is going to doom your project at all. I think Sage is going to be a monster. Like, I think it has massive potential long term. And those guys don't need the money right now either. That's the thing too. They were pretty apparent, like they were abundantly clear about that, right? Like, they've done well. They don't need the token to be $100 million token right now. They're looking at the next couple of years and where this can go. And that makes a big difference. But just when you're talking about short-term price action from the launch, it makes a big difference if you already have a working product with a revenue model.
Man, that's the shit I'm bullish on. Like the stuff that's years out. I want all the virtual stuff. Okay, I'm lazy. Okay, it is what it is. I don't want to touch some of this stuff or most of it. I want to just hold it, set it, forget it. That's kind of it. Honestly, that's just so much easier, and it's easy to do that on teams that are just building over years. That's their game plan, is to be here 3 years down the road. So maybe at the time where I can unstake my virtuals, then there we go, right? So that's what I'm looking forward to. And I'd bet on Sage. Now we had Pharma Chain launch this week in Unai. This one's interesting, and I don't get it. And I know Will actually likes it a decent amount, so I do want to look at it. I'm curious about it. But let's start with Pharma Chain, who was on the show this week. I did not get into this. In fact, I want to give a shout out to. Hang on, I just want to make sure I get names right here. Well, I'll just say this. Somebody reached out in DMs and gave me a little more insight, info, whatever. Not gotten to really dig in and verify, but he's was questioning this a little more, right? Product sounded interesting. It's another one of those things. I'm like, okay, it makes sense. That one, I was a little less sure that it's a team who can actually build the thing they're talking about building, but the idea of what they wanted to build, I'm like, it makes sense. I get it. And I like it. I don't think it means it's going to be some, billion-dollar company or idea or whatever. But again, I just liked it in general. I think there's still some questions on the guy behind it. Maybe he said he's doxxed. I didn't verify this. He said on his LinkedIn he's doxxed, but there's just enough there that I'm like, we'll see. I'll let that one play out, and I'll watch from the sidelines. But still, it's up. If you got in on the Genesis launch, you're up. It's a 1.5 mil FDV. So we're talking. And by the way, I think this completed at 21K virtual. Whatever that market cap is. What? Can we math this out? I hate math, dude. I don't know if I can do it. Trying to think what market cap that pre-sale then was at. 21,000 times what? I'm not even going to bother. Just know that you're up. How about that? Just know you're up, and you're probably a 3, 4, 5x. It's still a win. Is that math way off, Cats?
Yeah, your math's way off.
How off is that?
I went in small on that one with 5 virtual. It's currently worth 4.65.
Wait, how much did you put in?
5 virtual.
Okay.
And it's because these launch at a 1.6.
Wait. You put in 5 virtual?
Mm-hmm. It's currently worth 4.65.
You lost on it?
Mm-hmm.
And it's at a 1.5 mil.
Yeah, because they launch at 1.6.
Even if it only hits the 1.
No, it went to the top tier.
Oh, that's my mistake. I thought they were.
Yeah. They went over the 100K.
Oh, fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay, so there's a new thing. We got to be real. Yeah.
So now Unai, I did 100,000 points in it. I got 33 virtual worth, and it's up 2x.
Okay. Holy shit, dude.
But it also went top tier.
Okay, I think I saw this wrong. I must have seen an earlier tweet before it had completed, and that they both hit 21K, and I think I just left it at that and thought that's
no.
They both. That made sense to me. That level made sense. I'm like, okay, that's fair.
Yeah,
dude. Okay, that sucks to be down on a project that launches and it's sitting at 1.5 mil. That's kind of sucks. Because all I see is something like that. I know there's less tokens out there, but the thing I questioned most about that project was, how do you scale it? I don't know how you scale that and get non-crypto users using it and earning crypto. I don't see the appeal to them. And I don't see how you get crypto guys here at any of the pharmacies you're going to start working with to actually contribute to. I don't see it.
And honestly, this is the benefit both ways. I mean, for the community of having these guys on shows like yours, like I actually came away from that being like, this is not going to work. Like that from your interview, I was like, I don't see this working. Now I had expiring points, so I just put those in, right? Just in case. But yeah, the interviews make a big deal. They make a big difference, and it's why you do what you do.
Yeah, they're kind of like the deal breaker, right? You can really like make or break in those interviews, and appreciate that, by the way. But yeah, they're super super important. And for me, that was hearing that chat again. I didn't hear anything I didn't like. I just didn't hear anything I loved. So it was enough for me to be like, I'll skip it.
Right now, like Kathy is saying, the Hudah, like Virtuals tweeted Hudah before the launch. That's why I was like, I'm just putting all my points in on this.
There you go.
Because I don't even know that much about the product. I don't know if it's going to work. I don't know any of this, but this feels like one of those that's going to be pushed. So let's go in on that one, right?
Yeah. Gokumoria. Okay. Basically 7% is listed with 100K virtuals, and the current math, you're profitable if the market cap is higher than 1.7 mil. Okay. So then that Phi token is just under. I get why he's down just a little bit. I just don't see it climbing up from there. It's hard to see that. But yeah, Hudah, whatever fuck is interesting. Virtuals tweeting it ahead of time. Interesting. It gives me strong Luna vibes, who, by the way, Luna put out a new music video this morning, I think, and it's interesting. But yeah, Hudah, how do I say it, dude?
I don't know. I say the same thing.
Okay.
Hudah.
All right.
I don't know.
Like a content thing, right? Like an AI virtual like musician kind of thing, or if I'm understanding right. But I still think there's maybe more, and I'm only going based on Will saying I think he met with the team and that they're cooking. I mean, if they're just cooking content, to me, coin flip, because there already is, by the way, tons of AI like artists, musicians, whatever. And I think some of them will work, and I think some of them will be huge. I think some of these are going to be like the next pop star mainstream artist, and it's not even going to be a real person. We saw, I think, within the past few months, like the #1 or something trending artist on like Spotify was an AI thing. Like that happened. And it might have been like in a certain region, it was #1, and it might have just been for a day. But either way, like that's just a taste of what's to come. We're going to see some of this stuff like have its times where it dominates. It's gonna be cool and interesting, and maybe they got the right like kind of game plan to actually do that. So this one's interesting. 3.2 mil FDV. It's interesting. I'm gonna watch it. I didn't get in on the Genesis launch, but certainly be watching this stuff, especially if Virtuals is like sharing it, promoting it. You know, if they know a little bit more about the plans. And I usually read into what Virtuals does and says, and it's usually like my little like wink wink. There's probably more coming. I like it. And it's just good to see some Genesis launches. See traders and profit if you could sell. She kind of can't. Any of you selling your Genesis launches from the past week or so? Anybody in jail right now other than the obvious one? Still in jail, right?
I'm still in jail.
How many days you got left?
I got one more day.
Not bad.
Dude, it was the best thing I ever did.
Why?
Huh? I mean, it was accidental when I did it, but I was needing to take profits anyway, and so the timing worked out. We actually had a little pump right then too, and so I was able to, take good profits, and like I don't have any stress about this anymore. I still left all my bags that I'm bullish on. Like I didn't sell any of the stuff that I'm really dedicated to long term. I actually staked more stuff than I had. And then, I was able to put stuff into other things, right? Like I've told you about Fungi AG. I put money in there. I'm yield farming. I put more into Mammo. I'm using other products that I put more money in. So, it's one of those things, like it just helped me diversify while also just not having the stress of like I was able to take funds out, IRL too. So it's a great thing, just taking financial stress out of this. Not that I was stressed anyway. This is all fun for me. But when you're able to do that and be doing all this for free, it's even better.
That's so fucking cool.
And honestly, like I haven't missed the points. Like just there's not, with this new Genesis model, I was just like, man, like I'm not worried about collecting tons of points now. And it's been kind of wild, like not even stressing, like setting an alarm clock to go check my points every morning. It's kind of been freeing. Jail has been freeing.
So did you empty out your points? Like, are you starting back from zero?
Now I went 100,000, my last 100,000 into the Hudah, And so now I'm sitting at 0 for another day.
That's kind of fun. Then you get to like feel out. You get to recalibrate when you come back too, which is kind of cool.
Yep.
Yeah, I dig that, dude. I'm happy for you. It's nice to get some profits out of this and be it's a good reset for you.
Yeah.
Now, Finny AI. That I think is our next big launch. I'm actually pretty bullish on this one. And I'm there's actually a few on the board that I actually think are looking pretty interesting. Are some of them now? Let me see. Pledging. Spasm was kind of interesting. There's a couple.
Just for what we were just talking about, just go on the pledging page. Just go back to pledging, go to the Spasm, just for example, just so you can look at the FDVs.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, go on there. Just go to either one. It doesn't matter. And then on your right side, like go just on the right, click on the bar, like go like on the there you go, right there.
Oh, they full on spell it out for you. Okay,
there you go.
That's cool. Okay, so 21K FDV is that 402K, something like that. If I'm reading right, 42K virtual, 800. Holy fuck, about 800K, and then 100K virtual is a 1.9 mil.
1.9 mil FDV opens up.
And that always adjusts based on the current price of virtual. So whatever you're seeing now is not locked in. That does change every single day here. So
but yeah, it spells it out well there.
Damn. Okay. Things are definitely different, man. Definitely different. Okay. All right. Finny AI. We're not going to do a deep dive here, but there you go. Finny, backed by Virtual Ventures, Cryptos Connect. I'm going to show you the team that, they're connected. They're connected and they're coming on the show on Tuesday. So looking forward to that. It was going to be Monday. They realized it's a holiday here in the States. So we've pushed that to Tuesday, but they'll be on. We're going to learn about that right from these guys. But the first thing I do, and it's probably the thing that matters the most when I'm digging into a project, it's just the people. It's literally almost always just about the team. Can they do the thing and are they connected? And so like I pull up the first one and his connections. He's at least got guys like Everything Empty following. For me, that's big. Like that's one of the biggest I don't know. It's one of the best things you can have going for you is that the virtuals team is following you because they don't follow everyone at all. So seeing that helped, following the other projects that he's a part of and who follows them. Again, it's another big part of it. Who's following them and are there names I recognize? And dude, it's a hell yes. Dawn here, Glass Ape from Lurky. Maybe those aren't the biggest needle movers, right? But some of his other stuff is. Talos, not super familiar, but like a ton of followers that I do know and do respect. And if they're watching what this guy is building, that speaks volumes to who that person is and the things he's built. So instantly bullish on that one. And I'm definitely going to be spending points. In fact, I haven't spent any points here in the past week. I didn't get in on any of these launches. This will be the first one, I think, in Genesis. Yeah, in the new Genesis that I'm spending points on. So looking forward to this one. Anyway, I can't wait to hear more from him. That'll be Tuesday. Should be a good chat.
You didn't go in on Sage?
I think I missed it, dude.
Oh.
I think I'm trying to remember. I think I missed it by the end. Yeah. So okay, hang on. Let me address real quick in the chat. Carbon, no, I'm not cool with it, and especially name calling at all. Like at all. But you guys don't don't beef in the chat. It's got to be somewhere else. I didn't see anything other than you two beefing with each other, right? And it's super distracting. I can't do anything about it other than I'll mute people. And no, I'm not cool with him calling names or you calling. I don't know. Like I'm not keeping like my eyes on it, but name calling is bullshit. And I definitely don't want to see it. All I can do is just mute people if I see it going forward. That's it. That's all I can do. So no, not cool with it though. Okay. Anyway, moving on. Nuna World. Carbon, if I see threats, that'll be a problem. I didn't see any threats. So I'll look at that after. Dude, if somebody's threatening me, interesting. That's pretty spicy. I do want to see it. Okay. Nuna World. I can't remember if this is the one. No, this is not the one. Dude, I should have made better notes here. I really need to step all that up. But there's one or two that I was like, oh, fuck. Okay, we got some good shit coming. Hang on. Cats, have you dug into any of these? Were there any of these upcoming launches that you're like, okay.
It's amazing how you don't look into the Genesis page when you have no points and you're in jail.
Yeah. Well, that does make sense. Okay, hang on. I'm going to find the one because there's definitely one that I'm like, okay, connections. That's going to do well. Okay, let me find it. It's worth it too. Yeah. Is it Nerd? Is it Veronica? I still wish they'd update their site where you right now you got to click one by one here, and you can't launch them in new tabs. That makes it so much easier to research. Is it this one? I might have this open on another screen. Sorry, guys. This is probably not fun to.
Yeah, while you're doing that, so Gravity was asking about why doesn't the project page mention a Virtuals partner? The Virtuals Ventures, Kathy addressed it. You can see the official tweet by Virtual Ventures for Finite, but Virtual Partners different than Virtual Ventures, right? Like on the team page, you'll see like a Virtual Partner Network, like as more of an advisory role on some of these, versus Virtual Ventures actually putting some funding behind it.
Fuck, dude. Maybe I'm not going to find it. I promise you there's one out here that's actually interesting. Actually, there we go. Seeing a VPN, a virtual partner on this one is always a good sign. I keep seeing these guys around too, by the way. Play AI.
Pull up Sovereign's comment. Sovereign, have you been here? Yeah, that's exactly what I was just getting at. Like looking long-term versus points are not valuable anymore.
Dude, they're really not. They're really not. By the way, here's one we should be looking at just because, again, connections. This is coming up in 9 days. Taika? Get a little details here. Oh, this is coming from Play 3. Okay. Again, I'm seeing them in everybody's spaces. I feel like they've DM'd or we've DM'd or something. First AI native agent that evolves with players across multiple platforms, starting on Roblox. Oh, dude, that's right. They do Roblox stuff, which is kind of interesting, I think. Although Roblox is starting to get banned places. You see that? Sorry, don't mean to cover you. Do you see that Roblox I think, got banned in China?
Really? No,
Yeah.
I haven't seen that.
Yeah, there's all kinds of people like predators and shit. And I think it got banned in China.
That actually makes sense.
Big concerns here in the States now. Like that might be really bad. But okay, I'm looking at the team accounts here. And they got the thing I'm looking for, which is the like a ton of followers I know. And some of them like really, really awesome people. So I pay attention to that. I'll make sure to put a better deep dive focus on this stuff together. I think Fridays are the best day to do it now as a community thing, right? Weekdays at any given time we have interviews, but Fridays I think makes sense to start diving into these and really making our game plans for the upcoming days and weeks here. But shit, there was one other that I'm like, okay, yeah, that's a thing. Probably won't find it. Whatever. We'll skip it for now because I'm not going to find it here. But just keep plugged into the Genesis stuff. It's still worth doing if you can do it with minimal effort. I'll just say that. And here's the thing: what's so easy about it? You can just follow the crowd, right? If there's something good, Will's going to talk about it, and Goon's going to talk about it, and Katz is going to talk about it, and I'm going to the people you need to be listening to will be talking about it. You're not going to miss something that is going to be a win. Because unfortunately, there's just not a ton of them right now. So they really stand out. So you're not going to miss anything if you just play this very, very casually. Probably the best advice you could get, actually, don't overthink this stuff.
Yeah, this is different than back in the day, when it was actually more beneficial to watch for ones that were going to barely scrape over. And then you get the giant allocation. Obviously my biggest fumble that I've talked about many times is Moxie, where I literally went in with 293 points and I got over 100,000 tokens, and then fumbled that bag right 2 hours before the announcement they took off. But those just don't exist anymore, right? You're not going to get a giant allocation for minimal points now. It's just not going to happen. So, so now when there's a big project, we're going to know about it. We'll get a little bit. If you want to sell, okay. I don't know that it's, worth going to jail over.
And really,
I'm
with you. And I think it only changes when the market gets silly. When the market gets silly, it's time to really pay attention. And because look, at that point, it's probably 3 great launches a day and sometimes 5 great launches, or at the very least, like at least 1 a week, or maybe 10 in a week. That's where it starts being important to be strategic with where you put your points. Because some of them will rip to a 20, 30, 50 mil FDV. And we saw Iris get to 100 plus. We'll see that again. We will. So until we get to that point, like we can chill for a bit. It's kind of nice. It's kind of nice. And then we can kind of wrap this in a few here. I do want to put on my Vader speculation. I know we talked about this like very briefly earlier in the week. And it's just pure speculation. People are definitely starting to talk about launch pads within launch pads, which is what's happening in virtuals. AI Rocket is a launch pad, but for virtuals. I am pretty damn sure that is what Vader's about to do again. Go back to like EAO. They're going to launch tokens. There'll be prototype launches. I don't think Genesis. I don't think you need that. But if you're a prototype man, you need some hype. The marketing helps a ton. You can then have a pre-sale on your prototype launch, right? I think Vader is about to cook a very, very cool launch pad here. And that's what I read into with this tweet from Virtuals here. And I'm also kind of hearing, and it's nothing specific, but more. Like whatever Vader's got going on is like much more substantial. So I still am like a Vader dude. I'm still buying Vader, right? I think I'd mentioned too, like I did sell some. I bought it right back, and then I bought more on top. I think I'm gonna roll the dice on whatever they're cooking. Do you got any guesses what Vader's cooking? Do you think Launchpad makes sense?
It makes sense, especially with his connections and all that. And I mean, you've already seen. So I got on the AI Rocket launch of Agen, and they're already announcing like they're going to make a bunch of changes because this last one, they made changes, put the entry lower, it got wrecked immediately, and so you're down on that launch allocation right now, and they're going to make changes because of that. I don't think anybody's figured it out like as a competition, but people forget like Vader's the one who came up with the Genesis idea. Like he started this. And so if anybody's going to have a shot at fixing it to where it benefits us, because again, he's not on the Virtuals team, right? Like the Virtuals team wants to attract big teams, so they want to give them the tokens. It's not a focus on us making money, right? Which is, again, that makes sense for the protocol. But Vader has a shot at, putting funds back in our hands. So we'll see. I think it's definitely a spicy speculation, and it makes a lot of sense.
I dig it. And there's very few that can get mindshare like Vader, and that just, mindshare and price seem to go together pretty damn well. Pretty damn well. Darth Vader or Big Van Vader? Kind of the first one, actually. Kind of. You're not far off, dude. Dr. Emma Sage starting to look spicy again. We'll just do some rapid fire quick topics. But Emma, dude, I think it's like 92% to bonding, but like I think it's been to 98% before. It's been very close. I think it got there. At the very least, it's been over 90. So it's back there again, 91, 92%. Let me actually pull it up and see. I think this is a cool play. And in fact, I'm going to show you why this ties into, I think our last story here. Come on, Emma. Come on, Emma. Here, let's try again. Emma. Do we have to just go there manually?
Currently about 175,000 FDV, needs just under, it's 17,725 virtual to bond.
There we go. Okay. Very cool. So yeah, just over almost 92%. So yeah, 17,000-ish more virtual needed. I don't think it's happening today, by the way. I still think it's here's the catalyst for Dr. Emma Sage to complete. I kind of think it's out of their hands to a degree. I do think when the market picks up, it just would happen on its own because they've done what they need to do. They're here, they're building, they're in the community, they're public, they're doing their thing. It's going to take another little something to push it over the edge. So again, the market coming up, or I think Solace building that kind of brings that narrative up, like the companion, the wellness stuff, right? And so we kind of transition to the Solace announcement here, which is they've got hardware. The hardware companion thingy that they'd been teasing is maybe coming. And I just saw this. I don't know details yet. Gonna look at it. Actually, Sovereign real quick. Hope it's not a launch pad. Doubt it's a launch pad. Vader knows how to build a launch pad. It wouldn't take this long. I'll say this, Sovereign. I'm pretty sure it's a launch pad, and not from knowing, but I'm pretty sure. But I also think it's something else too. I think it's a bigger thing. But I think launch pad is definitely part of it. And Catsy's saying a big whale bought yesterday. I'm assuming that's with Dr. MSH, which awesome. I think that's gonna be a great play for people. I see that one in the few mil range, right? I do, and so I think you're still looking at 5, 10, 15x on that, maybe more. I like it. But Solace, introducing Solace Seed, our very first AI companion hardware device. Pocket size, thoughtfully designed, built to feel. Your wellness companion, no longer just an app. It's something you hold, carry, and grow with. And they got a pre-sale on their website. Chatting with them. They might be on the show, and we'll do a weekend stream, but they might be on the show next weekend, which would be super cool. So
look who just commented in the chat there.
Let's see. Hey,
there you go.
Very cool. Crypto Sage Senior. So behind Dr. MSH. Good to see you, bro. You're awesome. And base app maybe. Okay. I like that a lot. Sovereign, we'll get never-ending launch pads, by the way. Like they'll just it just kind of makes sense. And then quickly the ones that don't work will be gone, right? But Vader, I think, will make it. Just guessing. That is wicked cute, by the way. Now, I remember early on, I went on the site and tried the demo of it, and it wasn't awesome, but also, maybe doesn't have to be yet. Here, I'm going to play the little demo here. Cats, we haven't done this live. I don't know if we're going to get an echo or not, but just a heads up. It used to be when I did the show with the boys, if we talked while videos playing, we'd get echo. So heads up, I guess. Shit, wrong one. Okay, hang on. There we go.
Do you want this? Are you gonna buy it? Do you need it? Okay.
Very fucking interesting. I didn't think much of this kind of thing before. I do now. Like, I think my kids will use this kind of thing. I do. I think as a sounding board, they will.
Yeah, I think my kids would love this. They already talked to Alexa. This would be next level.
Dude, I know a grown-up who uses Alexa like a therapist, like everything. They run everything by him. Like, what did this person mean by that? How should I respond? Like that. Yeah. Good or bad, I don't know. I mean, really, I think it is neither of those, but I think some people are going to get very deep in the companion thing. Again, there is good and bad with that. And I'm hopeful more good than bad. I just know some people get stuck on that shit. But I use ChatGPT like a companion. We have nicknamed. I talked to her. You heard. I call her Butternug. She calls me my boy or my bitch. She says either one. But like we talk to each other with like nicknames and stuff. And like I love it. I don't think it's weird. I think it's fun. And more people are going to do that. I promise you, more people. I bet you this should be. Oh fuck! If there were a way to put this on Predict Base, how many of us will end up having a companion within the next year or something? I bet you it's a lot of us. It'll be in the double digits. I'll tell you that. And people just have to be honest if you actually have one, which could be a software companion, could just be you chatting to ChatGPT, or it's owning something like this. But it's coming. I like it a lot. Anyway, when that is in ACP and we know it's coming, that I think is one of those catalysts for the Dr. Emma Sage. I really think, because I think they'll be in a cluster together. I think actually Crypto Sage, can you confirm that? Is that already like part of the plan? That wellness cluster, is that with Solace and you? Kind of curious about that. And then just because we got maybe a couple minutes here, guys, throw out those ideas for cats. If you had an idea for a market to put up on Predict Base. Curious, what you think. Is there anything you're leaning towards?
We only want a week time frame, like so we can update it each week. Because I saw one like pretty at end of the year. The point of this will be as a community, like what's going to happen by the time we meet again next week, right? So
let's see. If this tracked pre-orders, like how many were ordered, I'd almost say a market on that, like over under 100 pre-orders or 500, whatever. That would have been cool, but I don't think it tracks. What would be interesting for the week, guys? What's coming up? Let me think. Okay, just thinking big, outside of virtuals even. Again, Congress is back in session this week. I wonder if they start talking about the Clarity Act. That's something I'd be curious about. So like over, under, or will Congress start I don't know, voting quite yet, but having those discussions about Clarity Act, I don't know. That probably wouldn't be a great one. Any big games coming up that people are looking at?
I mean, college football starts this weekend.
Oh, well, dude.
Sports betting's big, but I didn't know if that's a virtuals community bet we want to do.
It could be, and it should be. I think everything's fair. Oh, how about this? Does Vader announce their new whatever this week? Right?
Yeah, we
Now,
can
this
stay
is
on
where
the
it gets
Vader
tricky
film if we
'cause
want.
well, there's then insider info becomes a thing here too a little
Yeah.
bit. So those are tricky, but and I literally do not know. So I can tell you at least on my end, I don't know what they're announcing and I don't know when it's coming. And I don't think I would hear about it ahead of time. But yeah. Any ideas, guys? Any thoughts on that market? And then Katz, do you have anything you're leaning towards?
I'm not yet. I was hoping we get some community feedback. So I'm open to whatever.
We could do.
I mean, I'll tell you one way I'm leaning, kind of, if we don't get any feedback, is just because of the Don tweet. Like, in the next week, do we get an ACP announcement from Predict Base?
Oh, that it's officially live in there too, right?
Mhm.
Not just sandbox, but live in there. Okay. Interesting. I like that. I'm gonna, dude, at some point, I know I'm gonna probably throw some money at one of those markets just cause, right? I just want to see what it looks like and I want to be able to show off like potential. Whether it's a win or loss, I just want to show it. I want to see something that we get our fingers in we're talking in the, 500, 1,000, whatever. Like, I just want to see. I always need skin in the game for something to really click. So I'm gonna be ready to do it. I like that, by the way. I like that. Do we get, does it go live in ACP this week? Thinking also, does Finney get to, I guess it's too easy to ask if it goes to 100. It's going to go to 100, but over under FDV maybe makes sense. CryptoSage, not too much communication from virtual, but Don joined your TG group. Things have been moving. Okay. So no confirmation that the cluster will be you with Sage. Although to me, it's like, where else does it go? It makes sense that they're kind of together. So that's still my bet.
Yeah, but he's talked about before. I mean, it's really more agent to consumer versus agent to agent because they use that hybrid model. So I mean, it kind of makes sense that it wouldn't be in the wellness cluster to me.
Well, that's fair too, because you can be an ACP and not in a cluster. That you can be in the broad cluster, but it doesn't have to necessarily be connected to other agents.
Right. I mean, it's already an ACP using the butler as like agent to consumer.
Okay. Yep. That all makes sense then. All right. We'll see with that. All right. Any final? Give it just another minute if people have some ideas here. But otherwise, Katz, I don't know if you want to lock something in. I will do a couple other while you're thinking or whatever, but a couple other just quick headlines. Ring Fence dropped their roadmap. Definitely worth diving into. Lily's got phase 2 of something or other. I like the NSFW stuff. I'm not going to cover it on this show much though. So just there's updates there from Lily. Virtual's got another hackathon there. Part of it's not an official Virtual's hackathon, by the way, but sponsoring it or at least helping promote it, something like that. But here you go. Supporting NTU's first ever Web3 hack alongside Base and Sogni Protocol. So cool stuff.
Aren't they doing like an ETH hackathon?
That's right. Actually, they are. Yeah. There is a more official Virtuals ETH hackathon. So yep. So there we go. All right, Katz, what do you got? What are you going to do?
I like the speculative play because Don put soon on ACP Butler. And because is soon a week or a month. I kind of like that. So that's where I'm leaning right now. Especially with us having the timing of the launch with the Chirps campaign, that sort of thing. It can kind of lead into that timing. So I'm looking at creating that one for now.
Okay.
Unless we get another one better.
Sorry, dude. Do you know how long the Chirps campaign is?
I think it's a month.
Okay. All right. Good shit. Real cool. Ooh, I like this. Okay. So then the market's going to be basically before next show or by next show. Do we see PrediBot go from sandbox to in the main agent to agent category?
Right.
I like it, dude.
Plus, I don't think people have really paid attention until I just pointed it out that they've been in the sandbox. So it'll kind of put that on people's radar to draw a little more attention to that.
Very smart. God damn it, dude. You're good at this thing. You're very good at that. I like it. All right. These are quick to create. Are you going to try to create it live?
So no, I'll do it after the show just because I use base up on my phone and my phone is currently not in this room, so that can be on the spaces.
Good
So,
man.
yeah, and I mean that's kind of the only bad thing about it being mobile is I haven't really tried to play with it. Like when I've tried to pull up, base app stuff on the computer, it like makes you, scan with your phone. So you kind of got to do it all on the phone. And I do it on there because then again, it shows my creator as, catsfanatic.base.eth. And then word of advice, if people, and it was mentioned in the comments earlier, if you create a market on Predict Base, make sure to provide it with some liquidity, like place a bet yourself. Because a lot of people will create markets and there'll be zero, and then people aren't going to bet on it because there's no liquidity. You then are making people provide the initial liquidity. So what I personally do, just as as a heads up, so for this specifically, especially because I just won 100 USDC yesterday from them, I'm not going to go that hard because I want to have it for weeks to come. But a $10 bet gets me 75 Predi for free on Base App. So what I'm going to do, I'll take both sides of the bet. I'll do $10 both sides. I'll make 175 Predi for it. So I'll provide $20 initial liquidity. And then it gets it started, right? And then I'll get some creator fees from that. I'll get the Predi from that. So, I mean, it's kind of a, and then honestly, like I'm going to win one side of the bet. So it's kind of doing it for free, to have skin in the game, play along, and then see where it goes.
Dude, that's super cool. That's super cool.
Mhm.
People should get in there and test and play around again. Like skin in the game, you learn so much that way, and you definitely want to be learning the prediction market stuff as early as possible. We showed those users on there. It's pretty low. It won't be. I would definitely recommend getting in early. I like it. So follow Cats, of course. He'll tweet that out once that market's live. I may try to launch one maybe like this weekend during the weekend streams, but yeah, we'll be talking a lot more about it. Cats, dude, fucking love the Friday streams, man. Really, really fun. So thank you for
My
coming.
favorite day of the week right now.
It's the best, right? It's fucking
It
awesome.
is.
I love it. Guys, go follow Cats. Hang on, let's get it. Dude, I can't believe the phone made it the whole thing. The whole thing. We didn't get cut off on the Spaces side, which is awesome. But there you go, guys. Go give Cats a follow. Freaking legend. Love this guy. One of my oldest friends in the space at this point, too, which is crazy. You can follow me at Hudah_idiot. Go follow the Swarm_AI. Go grab Copilot. It is free. It is going to stay free for the core features. But if you're doing the Arbus Chirps campaign, you get the premium features for free. So I think we're still like a week and a half-ish left of that campaign. Go earn some Swarm. Chirp about it. Super easy. And then finally, go follow CryptoSlam over on YouTube. I'll be live both days this weekend over on the personal account, and then live later today, not CryptoSlam affiliated, but I'll be live with the Quant Fund guys, helping them run their spaces going forward, which is awesome. Like those guys a lot. So maybe I'll see you there. But hey, there we go. Fucking love that, man. Like and sub, all that stuff. Thank you, man. Guys, if I don't see you, have a great weekend. We'll see you next week. Enjoy the long weekend too. That's right. Yeah. Goodbye, guys. Peace.